One does not simply refuse an entitled parent's demands. If you try, you'll experience some very orc-ish behaviour. But not to worry, Voicey Veterans, we have our stock image shurikens and calm reading voice on our side. Karen might win the battle, but we will win the war. A mother who refuses to tell her son no, gets angry when it all goes horribly wrong. Who does she get to blame for her bad parenting? This kid gets embarrassed when their entitled mother tries to use them as an excuse to take someone else's property. You'll cringe when you hear the mother that ticks off even her own child. And for our fan-submitted story, you won't believe what cheap product this mother wants to be given for free. This Voicey Veteran has to deal with some silly accusations when she doesn't get what she believes she deserves. What crazy thing does she do? You'll only find out by watching this episode of VoiceyHere's Entitled Parents. This story was called EM. How dare you sell me a ticket to the movie I asked for? This was when I was a single rookie teacher, and this is during the later days of summer before I had to go back to work for preschool prep. So I decided to see the movie that looked the best to me that Friday, Seth Rogen's Sausage Party. Yeah, I know, I'm kind of cringing too. There's 2 showings at my movie theatre for matinee prices, 10 AM and 11 AM. I decided to sleep in and go to the 11, which led to this whole affair. I get to the theatre at around 10:35 to buy my tickets, and that's when it begins. The cast. Me, tired of these MFing Karens in this MFing movie theatre. Don't have much to do in this one. EM, entitled Mum, does not understand how movie theatres or ratings work. EK, entitled Kid, loud, bratty, but most of his ire is directed at EM. TE, theatre employee, teenage kid, doesn't get paid enough for this. TM, theatre manager, 20-something dude, doesn't get paid enough for this. So I walk into the theatre lobby and there's no line. I walk through the empty ropes and am about to get to the counter when EM barrels into the line from the direction of the theatres, dragging a yelling EK behind her. Instead of going to the line the correct way, she cuts right into the front of it and jumped in front of me. Excuse me, I was in line here. EM sticks a finger up my face and turns to TE.
Excuse me, you should be ashamed of yourself. Do you know what you exposed my child to?
I'm sorry, was there something wrong with the movie?
Yes, something was wrong with the movie. I bought a ticket to a cartoon movie and it turned out to be full of filth.
Ma'am, I tried to warn you that Sausage Party was rated R. It's not really an appropriate movie for...
It's a cartoon. My son saw the trailer and he thought it was funny. What was I supposed to tell him?
No, you could have told him no.
No one asked you.
Back to TE.
I want a refund, an apology, and that filthy movie removed from this theater.
Unfortunately, we don't give refunds after the movie's begun, and...
I want to see the hot dog movie.
No, that movie was thick.
Back to TE.
If you won't give me a refund, I want to talk to your boss, now.
TE sighs and calls his boss. Out comes TM, who already looks like he knows he's in for a bad time. I'm anxiously looking at my watch. Hi, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy your movie. Can I?
Yes, you can help. I want a full refund, an apology, that movie removed from the theater, and this employee fired for his poor treatment of us.
Hot dog movie, hot dog movie.
Throws cup of soda on the ground. TE was just following policy. I'm not going to fire him for...
I will call the police. You exposed my son to sick things in this film. Shame on you.
TE and TM have a quick talk off to the side. I could make out most of it. Dude, just give her the refund so she'll go away. It's against the rules. I do that, corporate could fire my butt. Fine, I'll ring it up. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. They turn back to EM, who has been trying to keep EK from throwing his tantrum. Man, we're not supposed to give refunds once the movie has started, but we want to make sure you walk away happy. I'll refund your ticket.
But that filthy movie is going to keep playing.
Yes, it's a new film and many people want to see it. EM harumphs and takes her money.
But it's filth. You really need to do better by parents. There should be a system to let people know about these things.
Yeah, There should be a letter rating for each movie or something. Wouldn't that be crazy?
You be quiet.
She grabs a screaming EK and yanks him out, turning back one last time.
Filth.
The chaos averted, it's now 10:56. I step up to the counter.
Sorry ma'am about that. What can I get you?
I'll take one to the filth. TE and TM proceed to crack up, printing my ticket and sending me on my way. This experience was funnier than the movie, sadly. You can tell some parents just want to blame their bad parenting on other people. Like the hero of the story said, the ratings on the movies are already there for a reason. If you don't do your job as a parent and look at the ratings beforehand, you can't just go around blaming the theater. And it sounds like the employee had already warned you anyway. I think some entitled people, they just don't listen and they don't care. So then when everything starts going bad for them, they just start playing the victim. This story was called EM Tries to Tell Me My Bike Is Her Son's, despite the fact I have the key for the chain. This happened a few months ago. I went down to the Sainsbury local on my bike, locked it to the bike rails, and went in to get myself some lunch. I came out with a pasta pot. I sat opposite my bike and ate it. As I'm eating it, I see a boy who looks around my age, 16, point at my bike as he walked past with his mum. I think nothing of it and carry on eating. About 2 minutes later, they come back out. The mother walks up to my bike, grabs the handlebars, and tries to walk off with it. This failed because it has a bike chain on it. The following conversation is had. EM is entitled mother, son equals the mute that could have prevented this whole thing. What do you think you're doing?
Grab my son's bike.
That's my bike.
No, it's not.
Well, it is because it's chained up. If it is your son's, surely you can unlock the chain. The EM had no way to actually unlock the chain because she didn't have the key. Her son just stood there behind her with his hand covering his eyes.
I can unlock it actually.
She then begins to pretend to look for the key in her bag. While she's doing this, I take the key out of my pocket. EM hasn't noticed I got the key out.
I know it's in here somewhere, but where is it?
I unlock the bike chain. She heard me unlock it and grabs my bike.
Stop trying to steal my son's bike.
The son finally decides to chime in with,
Mom, just stop.
But your bike, honey.
She winked at son. I had the key to the chain. I've been sat here for about 5 minutes now, and I saw you park up and walk in after I began eating.
Sorry, mate.
Nothing to be sorry about. This bastard trying to take your bike.
Me getting very annoyed now. Can you just get lost, please? This is my bike, and you aren't getting it for love nor money. Now sod off.
How dare you?
Actually, just shut up. I get on my bike and EM tries to tilt the handlebars so I fall off, but son stops her. Me to son. Sort your mum out, mate. I rode away as she started shouting and screaming, and son just stared at me. You hear about parents who basically enable their child's bad behavior, but I guess the same goes for children who enable their parents' bad behavior. Children do have the capability to call out their parents from time to time, especially if they're in their teenage years. Obviously the son was fine with it at first, until he realized it was chained up, and the owner was standing right there. It just makes you wonder how many times do entitled parents or kids try and steal bikes, only to realize that they're chained up. I guess a lot more than you would think. This story was called EK Interferes in My Studies. EA questions my career choice. Gets banned from house. Some background about the entitled aunt. The EA is my dad's sister. I had no idea that she was so entitled before this happened. She had the misfortune of suffering a miscarriage because of some real medical negligence, and has a deep-rooted hatred of doctors ever since. According to my dad, she was a normal woman before the miscarriage, but later she became anti-vax, anti-medicine. Apparently during her second pregnancy, she had to be literally forced into a hospital. The baby in this case was the EK of the story. About me. 9 years back, I was an absolute nerd and bookworm. The latter, I still am. I was a bit taller than the boys my age, but was dreadfully skinny and had glasses. So to the story. My parents were hosting some kind of family reunion. I was terribly stressed because of the nerve-wracking and psychologically demanding vast portion of the medical entrance examination. On an average day, my meals which I ate in my room would last 10 minutes or so, and I yet had the feeling that I was simply not doing enough. Most of my family was invited to the reunion party. I was in my room, trying to get some work done. I'm minding my own business when someone knocks on the door. I thought it'd be my mum or someone, so I opened the door. I didn't see anyone at first, but suddenly, EK wiggled through the gap between the door and my leg, and got in. Note that EK was 8 or 7 years old or so.
Are you playing any games? May I join?
No, I'm trying to study, and I'll appreciate if you don't make much noise, or better yet, get out.
But I want to play with you. Your studies can't be that important anyway. I can teach you if you don't understand it.
Me trying hard not to laugh, and glad for some stress-busting comedy. Yeah, will you? Thanks, but I understand it fine. I guess you're pretty good at it, so I must study to get at par with you.
Oh, I was born very good at it. So let's play.
This dialogue repeats a few more times. Apparently, EK doesn't understand sarcasm. I call for Mum and EA.
Hey, is EK bothering you?
Yeah, I'm studying, so I'd like a little silence.
You got it. I'll take him away.
But I want to play.
EA drags the EK away. My mum asks me if I could dine with the family that night, and it was okay if they got up early. I'm like, whatever. Later at the table, everyone's having dinner. EA to EK.
EK, apologize to Hero. He's giving a very important exam this year, and you shouldn't have disturbed him.
It's okay, EA.
Yeah, of course. But my friends tell me that you need to solve about 100 sums a day to crack these exams. I thought you were doing that.
No, I was doing biology, and you're probably mistaken. Maths is not that important for this exam.
What? Why are you wasting your time on stuff like biology? And what do you mean math is not important? How can you become an engineer without knowing math?
I'm giving AIPMT, which is the medical entrance examination.
Medical? You mean doctor? But you cannot give that test.
Why not? I know it's hard work, but it's good pay once you get your degree.
But all doctors are lying, stealing murderers. No, you selfish brat. My nephew will not take up the profession of the man who killed his cousin.
To my dad.
Haven't you told him yet?
I didn't think you needed to know. Alright, she had a miscarriage due to medical negligence before EK was born. You know that term, don't you? However, you, EA, cannot call my son names. I was shocked on hearing that, and was not able to say anything.
No, your son is being a bad influence to my child. You cannot let him become a doctor. Tell him not to. And if you let him become one, you cannot live in this house.
Now, A, I've been studying for 2 years for this examination, and B, this was my dad's and mum's very own house. I really don't have any such right, and even if I did, I don't want to execute it. As for the house, it's my property.
It's mine too by law.
It really isn't. This house isn't part of any inheritance from our dad. I've bought it myself with my wife.
So what? Since I'm your sister, your closest family, it's mine too. The law says that. I'm older than you, so I'm your superior. Now are you changing your son's decision or not?
At this point, I get fed up and excuse myself to my room. She's not worth wasting precious time upon. The story from this point onwards is based on what other guests and my parents told me later. There's no such law, and I'm not obliged to prove that. Now shut up and finish your food before I kick you out of here. And anyways, he has studied for this exam for 2 years, and I cannot prevent him from giving it now. EA mutters under her breath, but audible enough for my mum to hear.
He could fail the test and become a dropout. That's more honorable than becoming a murderer.
Excuse me?
I said that your son will fail this exam and count to nothing.
This was the last straw. After a shouting match, one of my uncles helps my dad throw EA out with her kid, and she walks away wishing failure upon me. I kinda felt bad for the EA, since no one should go through the suffering of having a miscarriage, and if Dante's Inferno exists, its deepest ring is reserved for corrupt, selfish and negligent doctors who violate their oath. This was the last time we heard of EA, and she was banned from all family reunions, and all of my sane family cut off ties with her. You could understand why somebody would be so bitter. after going through a tragedy like that. But the problem is perspective. You can't collectively blame an entire profession for the misconduct of one individual's actions. This fan-submitted story was called, "Why Would You Give Your Child a Diaper?" So this happened at the airport, and a long time ago, when my brother was born, and around 6 months old. As you can imagine, he needed diapers for obvious reasons EM was oblivious to. So me and my family were waiting to board our last flight home. We had 2 other connecting flights, and we were all tired, but didn't show it. Mum was still smiling, and so was my dad. My brother at the time was 6 months old and was quietly sleeping in my mother's lap. My brother started to cry. We knew this cry since he had already been fed, and always fell asleep after, so we knew we had to change his diaper in this airport. There were public changing stations available for everyone. My mum and I hurried over to one of the changing stations and took off the old one, disposed it, and I removed a new fresh diaper. An older woman asked why we were changing his diaper.
Are you changing his diaper? He doesn't need it.
He's only 6 months old and he needs it.
I didn't ask you, I asked your mum.
He obviously needs it.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Look, your kid is 6 months old and my kid is only 2 months old, and he needs it.
Then go change him.
I can't, I don't have any more diapers left. So could I have that one?
Points towards the diaper. Excuse me? At this point we didn't have any more diapers and that was our last one. I'm sorry, but no, this is the last one we have. I think you can purchase some from the duty-free store.
I don't want to spend my money on diapers. Give me yours.
No. By now my mum has already changed the diaper.
Give me your diapers now.
We simply leave. Later when we are back at our seats in the waiting area, EM returns.
You!
Yes?
Why did you steal my diaper bag?
Points towards our diaper bag. That's ours. Everyone is watching and someone even calls security. EM proceeds to grab the bag and takes it and turns towards the left. Ma'am, that's not your bag.
They stole my bag.
We have viewed the CCTV footage showing you harass this woman. Please come with us. If you'd like your story to be narrated by me, don't forget to visit the subreddit r/VoiceyHere, link below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.